You're listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. This is the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Patricia, and I'm here with my husband, Jason. Today, in recognition of Earth Day, we're going to talk about the most important ecosystem in the world and how that affects self-healing. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. So, Jason, to recognize Earth Day, what is the most important ecosystem in the world?
The human ecosystem.
Huh?
For everyone that's listening right now, it's your personal ecosystem.
Okay.
The human ecosystem sounds very scientific and detached, but what we're talking about is your ecosystem. Yes, you, the one I'm talking to right now.
I love it. I love it.
The biggest irony is that science and biology has identified ecosystems on Earth and their interrelationship. But medical scientists see the human body as parts that need to be looked at separately as opposed to all being connected. We see that because I was just talking to Patricia about this. If you remember Marcus Welby, I realize that dates me really a lot.
A whole lot.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It was a doctor show a long time ago. And whenever someone got sick on the show, Marcus Welby was a general practitioner. But whenever someone got sick on the show, they said, I want a specialist. I want the best specialist. Well, if you have a sickness that kind of illness or disease or whatever that kind of crosses over multiple specialties, it can get really confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just highlights how medical science, ironically, sees human beings as machines and doctors as mechanics where they fix and replace specific parts and systems.
Well, and the other thing is that the Marcus Welby comment was they were saying, I'm programmed to believe that a specialist is better than a human doctor, a medical doctor, a regular medical doctor.
Or someone who sees the specifics is more competent or more able to get to the root of the problem.
But the truth is that is not the truth at all, and you and I both know it.
It's just the opposite. The truth is that we've been so programmed, a lot of people don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see people as ecosystems.
Right.
And it starts with each one of you individually.
Mm-hmm.
And when we've been doing this work for 20 years, and we've refined our terminology. But the truth is, we see each person as their own ecosystem, and that starts with essence. Some people call that soul. We call it essence, and it all works together. So when one part of you if someone comes to us and they're having money problems or health problems, or relationship problems, whatever it is, we look at the ecosystem and see what's wrong.
The whole thing,
right? And then start removing
those negative energies,
those toxics.
Yes. Well, and basically the show today is about removing toxics from your ecosystem. So what we're trying to say, that if you have the ability to listen to what your body is telling you, then you can heal yourself better. But we've been trained. We don't have an expertise with our own bodies.
A great example. And, we're not, we've come upon this with a lot of personal experience.
Yes.
And I'm going to just start the story here,
Sure.
But we've talked about this before, so you've probably heard it before. You've been listening on a regular basis. But Patricia was diagnosed with a heart valve problem, and that it was pretty far gone. She was weeks, months away from having it
not months, more like weeks,
to fail, and she'd be dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, she had the surgery. It was replaced. It was replaced successfully, but then afterwards, she started to get migraines, vertigo, nausea that were debilitating. I mean, these were so awful. I remember she met with a client that we had met in New York, and she came here to San Francisco, wanted to meet with her, and they met at a Starbucks, and Patricia was out on the curb throwing up from the vertigo. It was really embarrassing.
It was the first attack that I had actually had to that extent.
And none of the doctors said this, but one of the nurses told us that after you go on bypass, which is how they did the heart surgery, a lot of people have this phenomenon called pump head. Well, we know now that pump head is whether it's bypass, it's really relevant now because everybody's going on ventilators for COVID-19.
Right.
It disrupts your ecosystem. But the doctor, it wasn't his area. The cardiologist, I've did a successful surgery. I'm done. It's not my area. They sent us to a neurologist. She couldn't find anything wrong. So then it wasn't her area. And then she suggested going to see a therapist. Well, Patricia didn't have these problems before the surgery. It's one of those cop-outs of traditional medicine where they don't look at you like an ecosystem. And this was part of her ecosystem. Now we know. And this is a great example because what happened was that there was energy attached to Patricia's heart valve. When that was removed, that energy was released. Now, they have a different...
It didn't leave my body.
Didn't leave her body, didn't leave her attachment to her essence. And that surgery has been some years ago now. How many years? 7?
8.
8 years?
8.
And we're still clearing it. And she doesn't get migraines anymore. She does have vertigo, and she does have mild nausea from time to time. But we're using alternative methods. We've got a great chiropractor. That makes a huge difference because that ecosystem is represented by your spine. And when your spine's out of alignment, that ecosystem is out of alignment.
And when I need to say this, when they put me back together, they didn't care about alignment.
They didn't care about any of that.
No.
Any of that ecosystem stuff. But what we know now is that your emotions is the root, and your emotions connected to your essence. So we're going to talk about that more in the next segment.
Let's be a little bit clear here. The emotions, the dramas and traumas, we'll say it that way, and the emotions that were connected to them a lot of them were stuck in my heart valve. When the heart valve was taken out and a new one put in, those emotions, those dramas and traumas and memories didn't have anywhere to go, so they started to surface.
You could say they were released.
Yes.
And we've been clearing her emotional story since we've been together. So that was probably 13 years, but it was her body's telling her, that's not enough.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff here and pay attention here. And we took her essence's advice
and cleared.
And cleared. And we've been doing that ever since.
Exactly.
When she still gets, vertigo or nausea, we've been clearing it very, very specifically, more and more specifically. And as we do that, she's getting better and better. Now, it's really interesting. Here's the other thing that I want to say in this segment.
Okay.
We know this is the time of COVID-19. And we know that people have different symptoms. Some people have really serious symptoms. Some people die from those symptoms. Some people have a fairly mild case.
Right.
And even if you have mild symptoms, then they get worse, then they get better, then they get worse, then they get better.
Right.
We had a client, we followed him, and that happened with him also. Those are your emotions. Those are your essence trying to tell you,
get rid of this.
Get rid of this. This is how to heal. It points you to what you need to heal. And if you're doing the ecosystem approach by clearing very specifically, you can do that. Now, it's that if that sounds vague and you say, I don't know how to, we're not trying to tell you how in this show today. We're just trying to tell you that it can be done.
Yes.
And that's the takeaway for today, and that you have this ability, this natural ability. If I was to ask you right now, just cold, do you have natural healing ability? What's the first hit that you get?
And my answer is, yeah.
Well, of course, but there's a lot of people out there that say, yeah, that just, that just makes sense. I never thought of it that way. Or,
right.
This was built in. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to do something extra to get it. It's already there. And because of programming,
it's covered up.
And we've trained it out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional medicine doesn't want you to heal naturally. It wants you to go to them, and they have a prescribed way of doing it. Mm-hmm. But even they will acknowledge that there's very few things that traditional medicine does that's 100%.
So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
You're the most important ecosystem in the world.
Okay.
One of the greatest ironies is that medical science treats the human body as a machine, not an ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Seeing yourself as an ecosystem is the first step in self-healing. And doing so, with the ecosystem approach, we make essence as primary.
Yes.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you to start with essence, and from that flows a holistic approach.
Okay. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about the toxics in your ecosystem and how you can identify them. This is the Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
What would you do with the power of community? How do you create your own rituals? Tune in to Living Your Gifts with me, Susan Huff, Ancient Applications for Modern Times, the second Wednesday of each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Our lives begin with the stories we are told and the stories we tell ourselves. Storytelling is the key. To learn more about me, visit livingyourgifts.com. That's livingyourgifts.com.
The Knowledge Book, currently studied in 39 countries and 15 languages around the world, accelerates our evolution, takes us out of depression, offers universal truth, protects us, and makes us stronger, both spiritually and physically. So if you are interested in the Knowledge Book, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net and tune in to the Knowledge Book Radio with Marge Potasic on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Coming to you live on TransformationTalkRadio.com is the Brilliance Ultimatum. Time's Up with Claudette Rowley. Powerful conversations, practical innovations, and transformative solutions as Claudette and her guests delve into the possibilities and what she calls reality resistance. Join the cultural revolution and annihilate obstacles. Check it out at culturalbrilliance.com.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Juliet Griffin on TransformationTalkRadio.com each second and fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll take you on adventures through the heart and spirit, exploring who we once were. This intuitive healer studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Visit OneTrueSelf.com.
How do you feel? Just okay? Well, how about you tune in and get ready to be more with the Healing Hour with me, Doc Martin, every third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. I'm ready for your questions, and I can't wait to help you find the answers. Every month we'll have a new live call-in show with innovative topics and a powerful hour of healing. To learn more about me, visit DrSharonMartin.com. See you there. I'm going to be here. You won't want to miss it.
This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about the toxics in your ecosystem and how you can identify them. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. Okay, Jason, what do you mean by toxics in your ecosystem?
Traditional medicine sees toxics as anything that keeps your ecosystem from being healthy, balanced, and full of life.
Okay.
Like bacteria, viruses, or even cancer cells.
Okay.
But those things are the effects of the toxics, not the root.
Well, wait. Let's back this doggy bus up. What do you mean, the root? What are the toxics? Are those toxics we don't see?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, as intuitives, we see this, the toxics, the source of these viruses, even cancer cells, bacteria, illness, disease, doesn't start with the effect of them. It starts in your essence.
Okay, and so you're saying what they happen before we actually feel the effect.
Exactly.
Okay.
And now we can feel the effect, you know, as we practice self-healing over the years. We start to get it way before we get really sick, or even get sick.
Mm-hmm.
And we see, oh, something's wrong here. Then we take care of it, and then it doesn't happen.
Move on.
It's actually, self-healing is the best preventative for everything in your life in terms of having bad things happen.
Right.
You know, the worst toxics in the human ecosystems are those emotions that are attached to us, but not us. They pollute our essence, but they're often invisible because we've been trained to treat ourselves like a machine.
Well, wait a minute. Let's back up. This is really an important point. These negative emotions are attached to us, but they are not us.
When we look at someone's essence, we see these negative emotions. They're almost covering up or interfering with the right function of your essence.
Right.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
And I got this out of Google.
Okay.
So this was a very basic, simplistic definition of how cancer cells develop in a normal body. And it says cancer develops when the body's normal control mechanism, this is, I don't know what a normal control mechanism is, but it stops working.
Okay.
So the old cells don't die and instead grow out of control, forming new abnormal cells. These extra cells may form a mass of tissue. So in the same way, when you have negative emotions that build up from trauma, anger from your childhood, resentment, fears, depression, sadness, hurts, when they're not cleared, they build up. They become like an emotional tumor. And the messages that they represent that says, hey, there's something wrong here, get rid of me. We don't do that ever now because we're programmed.
Right.
You know, we're programmed to say, oh, it doesn't matter how you feel, just do this. Right. You want to lose weight? Don't think about how you feel about it. Just get up every morning and work out, or drink this, even though it doesn't taste very good, or, shove this down or whatever.
Right.
It's not about how we feel. Just do it anyways.
Right.
And that creates these emotional tumors.
Well, okay. But let me jump in and say, when we have these, quote, emotional tumors, what they do is they start blocking our essence, correct?
Yes. And our essence is our way of understanding how to heal ourselves, how to deal with relationship problems, how to deal with money problems, how to just be happy.
Well,
our essence knows how to do all those things.
Yes, it does.
But we block it. And most of us are walking around with, and I'm just coining a term here, but emotional tumors. And the way you get rid of emotional tumor is
the ecosystem approach.
Exactly. And the clearing statements that we do, we're going to do clearing today in the last segment. Stay tuned. But this is a big deal. Now, we use a tool, which is a personality typing system called the Enneagram. And it helps us identify the negative emotions that are attached to our essence that need to be cleared. Now, we did a couple shows on the Enneagram.
Right.
Don't go study the Enneagram. That's not that's not the point here. It's a tool for you to use.
Right.
And again, we're not telling you how to do all this. We're just telling you that it can be done in this show. So, but it's really not that hard. What's really hard about the ecosystem approach always is not learning it, but unlearning all the program stuff that we've been trained in.
Well, and you know what, Jason, I remember back to when I had one session with, this is before we started seeing each other. I had a session with Jason. He had just started figuring out a lot of what we do today. And he told me that I was a jealous person. And I have to tell you, I was like, what? What is he talking about? I truly could not fathom what that was. By the way, jealousy is a form of anger. And then it's also a form, which goes even farther, it's really all about fear. You're jealous that someone's going to like someone better than you, jealous that someone can do something better than you, that kind of thing. That, in essence, your essence is fear. And so when I started clearing that fear, by the way, completely blindly, I might add, going, I had no idea what this guy's talking about. But I realized it didn't take me long to figure out, oh my gosh, he is really onto something here. And so I started doing the clearing every single day. And what a difference it has made.
And by the way, I don't.
He's going to say something smart. I can just.
I don't recommend this as an appropriate approach to for getting dates or getting someone to go out with you. But to Patricia's credit, she didn't understand it, but she did it, and she there was some level, there was some part of her that knew that this works.
By the way, I would tell you, even back then, I would tell you my essence knew that it works, or that it was going to work. It was, to me, it was incredible.
And so self-healing is all about identifying your negative emotions.
Exactly.
And clearing them before they cause a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And, our training just to do it, which is programming, ignore how we feel, don't listen or even acknowledge our essence, creates a buildup of these toxics in our human ecosystem. And we all have these emotional tumors. Now, what we do with the ecosystem approach is we unpack those tumors.
Mm-hmm.
So it may not be anger, it may be jealousy, anger, fear, like Patricia was talking about.
Could be many other things.
And applied in different areas also.
Right.
There may be jealousy in one part of your life and jealousy in another part of your life.
But feeling unworthy someplace else.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's never that clear. So Earth Day, was just a few days ago was Earth Day. And we know that if a critical mass of people just removed enough toxics from their own ecosystem, we would be able to acknowledge climate change and then act to resolve it.
Because we would then have clarity.
See, what I see, and I see this in Earth Day, people are talking about how we need to understand how these relationships, between greenhouse gases and using too many fossil fuels, how that affects the climate and how these all things go together.
Right.
But here's the truth of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those recommendations are we're going to have to program people to understand climate. And the truth is that if we were all connected, if we had those emotional tumors removed from our essence.
By the way, we are all connected, but go ahead.
We would just know that.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have to be convinced about climate change.
Right.
We would just know it, and we would be available to take action to work against it.
Exactly. Let's Jason, Earth Day, is so important to a lot of us, but many of us, it isn't. So by doing that, clearing, meaning the critical mass, starting with yourself and then clearing all this stuff, we all could make a huge difference.
We've met so many people who are very passionate about helping restore the earth to its natural ecosystems.
Mm-hmm.
But then we see that they treat themselves like a machine.
Mm-hmm.
They squander, they betray, they create toxics in their own ecosystem.
Exactly.
And that's where it has to start. Exactly. If you're really passionate about about the earth, use the ecosystem approach. Listen to our show every week. We're going to tell you how to restore your ecosystem in the best possible way.
Exactly. Jason, what are the key points in this segment?
Traditional medicine is mechanical. Self-healing is about your personal ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
The worst toxics in your personal ecosystems is the buildup of negative emotions.
Mm-hmm.
The Enneagram helps you see toxics in your own ecosystem, and then clearing helps you remove them.
Mm-hmm.
And the ecosystem approach is a natural way to remove toxics and create self-healing in all areas of your life.
Love it. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about the reasons why self-healing is so easy and so difficult at the same time. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you ready to put down that drink or drug for good? Are you struggling to maintain your recovery from addictive behaviors? Do you need help with a family member or loved one who's in early recovery or battling addiction? Get the help and guidance you need by arranging a recovery recharged phone session with me, Ellen Stewart, Pushy Broad from the Bronx, certified life and recovery coach. Call 1-800-889-1757. Make an appointment today or go to my website, pushybroadfromthebronx.com, and click on the link that says Recovery Recharged. Don't wait. Get the help you need today. This is Ellen Stewart, Pushy Broad from the Bronx on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Did you know you already have everything you need to live a vibrant and powerful life? Who you are and how extraordinary your life is affected more by your mindset than anything else. Tune in live each week to Vibrant Powerful Moms, Mondays, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, to join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares tips, stories, and interviews with enlightened guests to help you create an extraordinary life. For more information, visit vibrantpowerfulmoms.com.
The vibration of change, that magical place where life shifts from struggle to ease, from stagnation to forward movement, from old ways of being to new ways of becoming. If you're like I am, it can be rather elusive to get there, but when you are in it, you feel it down to your very core, don't you? And it can positively affect everything in your life, from your relationships to your health and well-being, from your career path to your abundance, from the quality of that inner connection to the fullness of your self-expression. On the Christine Upchurch Show, we explore ways to get into that vibration of change with experts in the fields of consciousness, psychology, spirituality, health, healing, and science. Join me, Christine Upchurch, every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time on KKNW AM 1150 and Transformation Talk Radio, and learn new ways to step into your vibration of change.
This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. We're going to talk about the reasons why self-healing is so easy and so difficult at the same time. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. Okay, Jason, what do you mean that it is so easy but so difficult at the same time to do self-healing?
Well, it's easy because this ability, self-healing, is standard equipment. It doesn't require that you pay extra for it. It doesn't require a place, a credential, or any special ability. It's built in.
Well, meaning we come in with it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's hard because we've been programmed to believe that it's easier just to go and have someone else fix us.
Yes.
And of course, that is treating yourself like a machine. You know, driving to the garage. I got this noise here.
Yeah. Okay. And I just want to say, we're not saying don't go see a doctor. Not at all. That is not what we're saying. But we're saying that the ecosystem approach is one of the best sidekicks, tools that you can have with you, because then your outcome, i.e. my heart surgery, will be the best that it can be for you.
Traditional medicine was amazing in terms of replacing her valve. It was literally saved her life.
Truly.
But they completely fumbled. They completely screwed up when it came to the effects of pump head. And they still don't do very well with it at all.
Right.
They barely even acknowledged it. So, it is especially timely. The reason we've done these 4 series of shows on self-healing is because right now with COVID-19, they're saying don't do these unproven methods, these unproven cures, these unproven treatments. Just listen to us, but we don't have anything to tell you. And if that's sunk in, we're saying to you, okay, I'm not saying, if there's a vaccine, Trish and I'll probably take it. We'll more than likely have that vaccine. If there's a treatment, chances are we would use that. But we're going to start with our self-healing.
Yes.
And we're doing self-healing right now. We do some alternative methods, and we do what some people might call unproven cures or treatments.
By the way, we don't drink bleach or what's the other there was something else, or use household cleaning supplies to
disinfectant. Yes.
Disinfectants. No, yes, we don't do that.
We don't do any of that. But some of these things, if there's nothing else.
Oh, wait a minute. I have to say it. By the way, my essence basically says, what are you, crazy? You don't need to use that. Don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. Well, that's my essence talking.
And because we're so good at self-healing for both of us, we have this intuitive hit that says, oh, should I try that? Oh, yeah, maybe.
Or maybe not.
One of the things that, anyways, self-healing is the most important thing you can do for these COVID-19 symptoms. And if you get it, and to keep yourself off the ventilator, and getting yourself off the ventilator if you do go on the ventilator, all those things.
Right.
So, the best example of how self-healing is easy and difficult at the same time is the idea of the placebo effect.
Okay.
Now, just the word, it has a connotation like it's phony, not true. But the placebo effect.
Is that close to fake news? Sorry,
yes.
I couldn't resist.
It's worse than fake news. The placebo, in drug trials, they give a certain number of what they call a control group, the placebo drugs, and then which are just nothing, basically sugar water, that have no effect. And then the other ones have the drug, and no one knows who's getting what. But what they found is people get healthy. They resolve their condition even taking the placebo drugs.
That's true.
Instead of trying to say, oh, well, I want to find out how that works, traditional medicine has pushed that aside, discredited it, and made it seem awful, when the truth is the placebo effect is our self-healing happening before our eyes. It's not an illusion.
Okay.
Self-healing is there. Even the traditional medicine have to acknowledge that people can heal themselves just by believing. But we tell you by using an ecosystem approach so that it's not kind of hit or miss, but we really start to understand through your intuition, connecting with your essence, how to heal you personally.
Right.
Not how to heal 80% of the population or 100% of the population. It's how to heal you personally.
Right.
And you're all unique. And that's what's so powerful about self-healing, is because it's designed for you personally.
Well, okay, let's bring up the point of people want other people to validate them. People want to be acknowledged for being sick. Oh my gosh, yes, you're so sick. Oh my gosh. But then it really, and by the way, that's neediness that needs to be cleared. But the point that I'm getting at is we've been programmed that if somebody else says, man, you're really sick, you need to go home, then that means we're really sick. And that gives us validation that we can go home and try and heal, or go see a doctor and try and heal.
we've noticed this. This is, after doing this work for so long, a lot of people have come to us because they just want us to take care of them.
Right. And that's difficult.
It's very, very difficult. And it's not our job, really. We see our job as to train people to heal themselves, to access their essence, and to develop their intuition to do that, and to do that themselves, because that's the best thing you can do. Now, I have to admit, when I get sick, I get treated really well, and it's all Patricia's fault. And
thank you, dear.
And I admit to how much I enjoy that. So I have to be honest about that. When she gets sick, she doesn't. She just wants everybody to stay away from her.
I do.
She's not very.
Occasionally, bring me some water.
Yes, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it is a natural desire to be treated tender and to be acknowledged and loved.
Yes.
And that, that good mom energy.
But I think it's been taken too far is what I see.
Well, and the other thing is that self-healing allows you to do it for yourself.
Yes.
And really nurture and support yourself. There's a lot of programs out there about helping feel good, nurturing yourself, being that good mom for yourself. This happens naturally with the ecosystem approach. So, the other thing is that I want to talk about is that self-healing during the time of the coronavirus. We think it just in terms of getting the coronavirus or healing from it, but the mental health problems, the loneliness that comes up from the isolation.
It's a really big issue.
The financial problems, just being happy with everybody being home, the relationship problems, they all are resolved with this self-healing approach.
Exactly.
So should we do the key points?
Wait a minute. That's my line, Jason.
Okay.
All right. Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Self-healing is both easy and difficult at the same time. The placebo effect is a perfect example of an easy and difficult at the same time. Being captive by traditional medicine is clear with COVID-19 because you have dependency without any options, without anything to offer you personally.
Right.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you self-healing for personal empowerment, which is perfect during the time of COVID-19 and for all of your life.
Okay. So, Jason, let's teach those who don't know how to do the ecosystem approach, the clearing. Let's teach that right now. And for those of you who already know, follow along and maybe you'll learn something you didn't know.
It's very simple. And in fact, we're going to talk about a trash can when we put your negative emotions. But if you go to our website, the ecosystemapproach.org, and if you sign up for our free section, there's a place where we call it the processor, and you print out a picture, put it together, and put it in front of you and visualize it, make it a little easier. But basically, you use your imagination. You can sit, stand, lay down, stand on your head. It doesn't matter what posture you're in. But set your intention to remove these things. And as we say, to eliminate, gather up those things that we say to eliminate, blow them into a trash can, blow them into the processor. If there's not a trash can around, like you're driving, just blow it into an imaginary trash can and then go on to the next emotion.
And then after we do that, we're going to activate life force. By the way, life force energy is the strongest, the most amazing, powerful energy that any of us has access to. And what we're going to do is we're going to call it. It's going to come in through the top of our head, go all the way down our shoulders and our torso and our arms, go all the way down our legs to the tips of our toes. Stop it there, turn it around, and use that positive energy to blow out or lift out any negative energies left over, because we all know there's negative energy everywhere around us. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to help you start to remove the toxics from your ecosystem and bring about your natural healing ability. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Kimberly Carlson. and I would love for you to tune in to All In Healing Radio, where together we will begin to experience health, happiness, and harmony in all areas and aspects of life. Join us every first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. on transformationtalkradio.com. All In Healing will help you release layers of negative beliefs and energies for radiant health, deep joy, and greater abundance. Visit me at KimberlyCarlson.com.
Are you your story? Or can you change your story? Can you change what you believe to be true about yourself and your circumstances as part of your healing journey? What if you were to change your expectations? What if you were to invite ease and cooperation into every day and then step back and see what happens? It might just be easier. I'm Megan Edge, and I hope that you'll join me on my new radio show, Playing on the Edge, Radical Change with Ease, with my co-host Dr. Pat on Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to seeing you there.
Want to find out more about Megan Edge? Visit her website at meganedge.ca.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Hey, how's it going? If it's stressful or just plain exhausting, New Light Living is here to ask, is this the way you want to live? Join me, your intuitive spiritual life coach and host, Ulrika Sullivan, every week on New Light Living. Discover the power of creative tools to start living every day as your ideal dream day. See your life in the new light. To learn more, visit newlightliving.com.
This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. In this segment, we're going to help you start to remove the toxics from your ecosystem and bring about your natural ability to heal. So, Jason, you ready to get started?
Here we go.
All right.
I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate feeling anxious, frustrated, and overwhelmed, which are toxic emotions in my ecosystem. Gather those all up, feeling anxious, frustrated, and overwhelmed, blow that into the trash can right now. Take a breath.
And by the way, I don't know if we've ever said this before, but I imagine lifting those negative energies up from the tips of my toes, and then bringing all the way up to my mouth and blowing them out into where? The processor or the garbage can. And by the way, check out the garbage can or the processor online. It's really great. And Jason will give you that address in a minute. So, and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that self-healing is a complement to traditional medicine. Take a breath.
Gather up those veils and illusions.
Blow them out.
And to eliminate my anger about anything so I can see that it's a toxic in my ecosystem. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any confusion I have that says, if I'm not angry, I can't get anything done. When the truth is, you can get 10 times things done when you are not angry. So, and to eliminate the false belief that anger helps me, when the truth is, it doesn't. Take a breath. Blow it out.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that I can fake not being angry. And it's the anger that's authentic to me that has to be removed, not the behaviors that I fake.
Yes, take a breath. Here's a really good one. And to eliminate my fears, worries, anxieties that are toxics to my ecosystem of COVID-19 and dying. Take a breath.
And to eliminate feeling powerless and helpless when clearing and self-healing is the answer. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can see the benefits to me to have a strong self-healing ability. Take a breath.
Imagine being away, you can't get to a hospital. Maybe the hospital's overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can't even get someone to come and, the ambulance, if things get serious enough, there may not be an ambulance to come and get you and no place to take you. What do you have left? Well, self-healing.
Yes.
So start now. Don't start then. Start now.
Exactly.
So here we go. And to eliminate the barrier so I can start now to do these self-healing techniques and removing these toxics from my ecosystem.
Yes.
Take a breath.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can see the benefits to me to have a strong self-healing ability. We just did that one, didn't we? Take another breath, everybody.
It's good enough to do twice.
Yeah, I think so.
Here's the one you were looking for. And to eliminate the barriers so I can uncover my natural ability to heal myself by removing negative energies.
Exactly.
Take a breath.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see bad things in my life start as toxics in my ecosystem. Take a breath.
And to eliminate my numbness to my authentic emotions because they're the toxics in my ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Take a breath. I know you've never had someone that you were arguing with and they're saying, I'm not mad.
That isn't how I say it, but we can't say it on the radio. Oops. And to eliminate the barriers to always do clearings constantly, consistently, and specifically for self-healing. Take a breath. And by the way, that's one of the biggest ones we can do every single day. That one. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that self-healing and mental health are directly related to the toxics in my ecosystem.
Yes, take a breath. And to eliminate the barriers so I can take care of myself with self-healing. But it's okay to get the medical profession to help me too, if necessary. Take a breath.
And to eliminate, and to eliminate the barriers so we can go to the next, do Life Force. How about that?
Actually, before we go to Life Force, Jason, I'd really like to clear the world.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And so remember, just the picture is just a little bit different. So we like to imagine a big hand going around the world like a big globe and then going off and pushing it into, and instead of a trash can, a big dumpster.
A big dumpster, exactly.
So here we go. And to eliminate for the world the fear around COVID-19. Mm-hmm. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the fear that's around the world that says, if I don't have COVID-19 now, I soon will, and there's nothing I can do about it. I release and let go that fear and that terror. Take a breath. All the way around the world, pick it up, all that fear, and then put it in that huge dumpster. Blow it out.
And to eliminate for the world the barriers so that we can cooperate and work together to get rid of COVID-19. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the blocks that are keeping the medical profession from finding that vaccine that is less toxic than COVID-19. Take a breath.
And to eliminate all the hate, the prejudice, the greed in the world that keeps us from working together and coming to a solution that will help us all. Take a breath.
Take a breath. You ready to activate life force, Jason?
Let's
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force so I can use life force for all that I need, want, desire, and deserve. Take a nice breath. Let it come in through the top of your head, all the way down your torso, arms, tips, and your legs. Stop it at the tips of your toes. Turn it around. Use this powerful energy to push out any negative energy that is hanging out. Blow it out. And to activate life force so I can have hope that I have the power to have my body heal itself easily, smoothly, and swiftly. Take a breath. Let that life force come right in through the top of your head, all the way to the tips of your toes. Turn it around, blow out any negative energy that's blocking you from the ability to heal yourself. Take a breath.
And to activate life force so I can have the determination to uncover my essence and take charge of my own healing right now. Take a breath.
And to activate life force so I can trust that I have natural abilities to heal myself and create a good outcome for me and those around me. Take a breath, pull in that life force energy, and blow it out. And to activate life force so I can be happy and healthy, creative, have fun, have laughter, joy, great positive health, and be peaceful and just enjoy my life right now. Take a breath and let it go all the way through your body. Now blow out any negative energy left over. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
Okay, so this is the third of a series of 4 about health, self-healing. And this will be our last show about self-healing. And this time we're going to talk about the healing power of essence and more about this idea that these unproven cures and remedies, know how we figure that out, Patricia and I, we do it with our intuition. By doing the self-healing process with the ecosystem approach, our intuition is alive, and we say, oh, I bet that works. And it may be a quote-unquote unproven cure, but unproven doesn't mean it won't work.
That's true.
And your essence knows. And your essence knows what will work for you. So that's what self-healing is all about, is listening to that essence.
Exactly. Listening to you and being able to connect. So, which is really, really, really amazing. So, Jason, how can I get more information and real support for the ecosystem approach?
Okay, first, go sign up for our free subscription. It's on our website, theecosystemapproach.org. And that includes a newsletter which gives you the backstory for each topic that affects us personally. We give you some personal stories, as well as written clearings to remove that negative energy from your essence. Do the clearings often. The more you do it, the better it is. It's a cumulative effect. Then listen to our show every week and do the clearings at the end. Our show is every week at Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific time and 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, it's recorded. So if you can't listen at that time, listen at another time. And you can get all those shows at the ecosystemapproach.org, our website, and sign up for the free section.
Okay. And the other thing is we have a few other things on the website that people can connect with, such as the hand washing video. And is there something else there, Jason?
Yeah, we have the hand washing video. We've got clearings if you get COVID-19 to prevent COVID-19. We've done a whole series of shows about COVID-19. So you're going to get a lot of information there. Go to our website every week and like us, the ecosystemapproach.org on Facebook, and we'll connect next week.
All right. We'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio. You're listening to The Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.